Let's take a closer look at some of the new advanced editing tools, starting with the Raise Selection option. This provides a quick way to adjust the gain of a region on the fly. First, select a specific section of audio. Then, choose the Raise Selection command. Now just click and drag to adjust. And you can define and adjust more sections just as quickly. Another innovation in WaveLab 8 is the SuperClip concept. This lets you gather several parts of an audio montage into a SuperClip, which in turn lets you build large audio montages while hiding the edit complexities inside the SuperClip. Using SuperClips also increases the performance of your system by providing options to freeze edits and audio effects in cached audio files. Any processing you apply to a SuperClip is applied to everything within it. Say you have an album with multiple songs, and each song requires complex edits. You can now create a SuperClip for each song. The main audio montage will be comprised of these SuperClips, while each song can retain its own audio montage inside the SuperClip. You now have several automatic split options. Open the Edit window and select Auto Split. Now determine if you want to apply this to all clips or just the focused clip. Click Next to see all of your auto-split options. Auto-splitting at markers or specific intervals is pretty straightforward, but you can also use silence, beats, head and tail, and in the audio file workspace you have the additional options to split a stereo file into 2 mono files or use a specifically formatted text file as instructions. Click Next and choose what you want WaveLab to do with the split regions and how to name them. Then click Finish. Another handy feature is the ability to apply a plugin to an audio file without leaving the audio file's workspace. Simply click on the Render in Place icon inside the plugin window. This is a quick way to test different plugins without multiple exports. The new Auto Replay function is a must for professional editors. Auto Replay lets you automatically re-trigger playback as soon as your edit is complete. This saves you from positioning the cursor and hitting play after every edit. WaveLab 8 brings you track lock to prevent unwanted changes. And you have improved name editing in lists. Another enhancement in WaveLab 8 is the ability to import audio files at their native sample rate, even if that sample rate is different from your final output. You choose the target sample rate once at the very end of the mastering process. This provides for the best sounding results. For example, if you'd like to set up a CD burning process, you're no longer required to work in 44.1 right from the start. You can master at much higher values, then export the file in 44.1 once you've finished. WaveLab 8 includes an auto detection feature which identifies mismatched sample rates, and it offers you the option to resample for the highest quality. WaveLab 8 supports an array of metadata. Metadata is non-audio information attached to a file. It can contain attributes, describe the audio contents, hold the title, the author, and more. Each type of audio file supports a different combination of metadata, and not all file formats can support metadata. However, all of these file formats can. For example, most MP3 files are encoded with an ID3 tag, or the new ID3 v2, which can include pictures. The metadata associated with a file is loaded with the file itself. WaveLab can display a preview in the metadata window. To view and edit the complete metadata for a file, select Edit, Metadata. or you can click on the Edit button in the Metadata window. The Metadata dialog allows you to define what will be embedded with your audio file. Opening the dialog in the Montage workspace or Batch Processing gives you the option to edit the metadata for WAV and MP3 audio files when rendering or when processing through the batch processor. Then it's a very straightforward process to select the tab for the metadata that you want to add and insert the information. To save time with recurring projects, you can make use of presets. This lets you set metadata presets and apply these to other files. For example, if your facility routinely burns demo CDs for clients and you place contact information on the ID3 tag, you can save that as a preset. And you have the option to customize your default metadata here. Now, when you create a new file and do not manually add any additional metadata, this default information is applied to the file when saving it. For example, you could save all WAV files with broadcast WAV file metadata and automatically add a unique material identifier. Now let's talk about variables. Variables make handling metadata more efficient. You can use variable options to quickly add metadata to a file without having to type the same information multiple times. Let's say we have an audio montage that contains CD tracks, and you want to render all of those CD tracks to individual audio files, including metadata information. Let's assume we've already added some CD text to each track, but we want to add information that's not available as CD text, like the year of the CD and a comment. First, in the CD window, select Functions, Edit Metadata. Now fill out the @CD_track_year and @CD_track_info1 fields. Close the dialog. Then open the Render dialog. In the What to Render section, activate Regions and select Tracks from the Regions pop-up menu. Open the File Format dialog. In the Metadata menu, select Inherit from Source. Click OK. Then, in the Render dialog, click OK to render the files. And when you open the rendered audio file and look at the metadata, you can see the variables were automatically replaced by the metadata that's been set up for each track. A popular use of WaveLab is audio restoration, thanks to the built-in Sonnox Restoration Toolkit. This toolkit consists of 3 world-class plugins which were designed from the ground up to remove common flaws from audio. Sonnox Debuzzer allows you to remove hum and buzz noises from audio material. Here's an example of an audio file with a hum I'd like to remove. First, find the frequency using auto mode. Allow the detector time to drift toward the actual fundamental. The Detect display will let you know when it's located the offending noise. Auto mode is very helpful if the hum changes over time. You can use Fine Adjust, which forces freeze mode, to increase the resolution. Use hum mode for harmonics up to 800 Hz. For higher frequencies, select buzz mode, which removes harmonics up to 4000 Hz. To cause as little damage to the audio as possible, back off the attenuation until you can just hear the buzz. Then reduce the sensitivity until the buzz is inaudible. The declicker allows you to remove clicks from audio material. You should repair the larger and more dramatic noises through editing before attempting to use declicker. If you're dealing with larger sounds, use the depop section and raise the sensitivity fader until the largest events are cleaned up. Use declick and decrackle in the same way for those types of noise. Another alternative use of WaveLab is to install it on a laptop or portable rig for live recording. You have the option to position microphones yourself and route them to WaveLab through an audio interface, or you could opt to take a feed from the main mixing board. Either way, you can capture all the energy of the band and the crowd directly to your mastering platform for the highest possible quality. Then, when you're ready to create a CD of the event, WaveLab has some neat tricks to offer. The CD window gives you all the tools you need to create an audio CD or a DVD audio disc within WaveLab. One option that lends itself to live recordings is the Audio in Pauses feature. Usually when you write an audio CD, only the sections between the CD markers are written, and the pauses between tracks are replaced by silence. But Audio in Pauses burns the exact image of the audio montage to the CD, including any audio between tracks. So in the case of a live recording with applause between two songs, you move the track markers so that the applause section is between the tracks. Then activate Audio in Pauses. Now, the applause won't play if you play either of the two tracks on their own, but you can hear it when playing the two tracks in sequence. Like this. The CD window also displays a list of CD tracks along with information about each track. You can edit each track and the playback properties for the CD. Check conformity against the Red Book standards, and you can add and edit CD text. You can add UPC and ISRC codes, and you can generate a CD report. The key symbol indicates a track copy protection flag. However, it's worth noting that not all CDR units support this function. The rainbow-colored symbol indicates the emphasis flag. This setting is used to indicate if the track was recorded with emphasis or not. Activating or deactivating this option does not apply or remove emphasis from the audio, it's just an indicator of how the file was created. And when everything is ready, you can burn the CD directly from WaveLab.